and we are talking.
So
and when
we'll
we talk,
let about 8 seconds or so go by.
Really? It's that long?
No, but I just to be safe.
Yeah, I like safe. Safe is good.
Better safe than sorry.
All of this is the intro to this week's episode, isn't it?
Yep. We'll just keep talking. Edward Van Sloan has to wait.
How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of the Son of Frankenstein.
This one is probably just as bad as his father. Good morning, son.
Well, hello.
My son, you have inherited the fortune of the Frankensteins. I trust you will not inherit their fate.
By heaven, I think you're a worse fiend than your father. What are you going to do about it? There's a monster afoot and you know it.
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned. You heard the man.
Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that has dissected the universe of Frankenstein film series for 3 years. Your hosts, as always, are Thom and Bill Evenson. Congratulations, fellows, and here's to at least 3 more years of this drivel and nonsense. I'm Tom Baker.
I am none other than Thom Lang.
And I am none other than Bill Evenson. Welcome to the podcast.
Except no substitutes.
Tom's trying to throw me. That's just like the whole. That's what this whole thing has all
podcast
been about.
Set up.
Hey, I haven't even looked. Is it our anniversary?
Is it?
Yeah, well, I'm fucking up the podcast to find out. But
what
if
are
you
you
could
doing?
mention it, that might be good. So what we need to know is
Plenty of
the
time
last. Let's just say the last, because it isn't ever going to be perfect. But the last episode that takes place in August, right? That would call that our anniversary. Because we did August 31st.
Yeah, that was when episode 0 dropped.
All right, so August 27th is line 159, otherwise known as last week. So we'll call this the anniversary.
Right.
Or it's September 30th. It's our anniversary.
It is our anniversary episode.
Yeah, because it's just now past 3 years.
Yeah.
That's perfect. This is our welcome to the anniversary extravaganza.
3 years.
3 years we've been doing this. 3 fucking years. Tom's been trying to throw me.
I've been putting up with this shit for 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's probably time to wind it down.
It just might be. Pull the plug.
It's really been a lot of pain for very little reward.
Yeah,
no,
I think.
What's the other opposite of reward? Punishment. A lot of punishment. A lot of pain.
But thanks for listening.
So one of the things I forgot to mention last week when we got the new setup is I've done 2 changes to our setup. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to Frankenstein Minute. You've joined us for minute 12 of film Son of Frankenstein, which you've got on your shirt in front of you, and that's very helpful. Yes, you can wear that every week. That'd be good. Because God knows what's going on. Not only do we have the new bigger TV, but I changed all these files that have each individual minute on them, and I added a second of black screen at the beginning and end. Because I feel like this player will cut things out.
Yeah, okay.
So there you go. We have more precise,
fascinating for
everything we're doing for these listeners. For the 3-year anniversary, we're pulling out all the stops.
That's right.
The budget has gone through the roof.
We got a cake with a stripper is going to pop out of later on.
Okay, so what do you got?
Wolf says, here in this very study.
Oh, really? You have that too?
Yeah, which I take issue with that.
Yep, a study and a library are 2 things. I have played Clue.
Yeah.
And they are 2 separate rooms. Did you have that too?
I had that, but I also had that I do not believe this is where Henry conceived of this whole thing.
Conceived of?
He may have conceived of it, but he didn't plot it out and see it pass here. He was at school, and then he was at the Watchtower. He was not in this house when all the events took place, the early parts of Frankenstein.
I don't believe you've ever been pregnant, but conception and then execution.
No, I get that.
In between there's a lot that happens. Right. I know for guys like us, it didn't really seem like much.
Nothing. There's a lot of waiting around.
But I believe that he's saying he conceived of it here.
That's possible. That's possible.
It's possible, but yeah.
But I think I get the impression, based on the previous 2 films and the novel Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus, that Henry / Victor or
Butterfingers.
Modern Butterfingers conceived of it at school.
Okay.
Through the auspices of Professor Waldman and Dr. Pretorius.
Okay.
He would not have perceived of it had he not been in that environment. I don't know.
I like what you're saying. I do think it's critical and important.
Certainly Victor Frankenstein would not have.
in that study.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I'm sorry, in that library.
Well, where are we? We're library or study? Come on.
Yep, I know. Like I said, if you look on the clue board,
Yeah,
I
there's
looked it up to make sure.
Two different rooms.
But they're right next. They're adjacent. Doesn't matter.
One of the bookcases opens up to go from room to room.
It's funny because we've sort of set the script book aside, but one of the things I didn't mention, but you just mentioned, what led up to Henry conceiving of all this. And in the script, and it's good that I don't have this, and I'm not ready to flip through this and find it. He goes through the actual books, and he names like 6 or 8 different books that are on the shelf. And so
and I think those,
this reinforces that the idea that he conceived of it.
I think Mary, I call her like Mary like I knew her.
Yeah.
To distinguish her from
care.
Shelley. No, she's pretty cool.
She's cool with it. She's a Patreon.
She names, I think, those same books as...
No,
are they different?
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, actually. You could be right. I know she mentions Paradise Lost, and I didn't remember seeing that one, but maybe that is in there.
No, I think some of the other more academic things.
You know what? Neither one of us have a lot of notes for this week.
Nope.
Is it worth...
So I guess I'll be editing...
Sure, I like milk. He drinks loudly. Have to be strong. Okay, we'll have to remember that one. I mean, it's funny. We've talked about how the script is basically not used for this film, but a lot of it really does follow the general...
It follows the basic storyline. There's just very few scenes that have an analog from the script to the film.
All right. He touches the books as he names them. Agricola's De Re Metallica.
I don't know. That's where...
Yeah.
It's the book about the band.
The Necronomicon.
Yeah, that's mentioned.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Roger Bacon.
Nope.
Euclid.
I believe it's mentioned in passing. Yeah.
Paracelsus, I think.
Yeah. That gets
you're right.
frequently.
Fitzjames O'Brien. Avicenna. I don't know. That's it.
Okay.
What's this one? A diary. My father's diary.
Just laying around.
Yeah. So there we are. This is where he conceived of Frankenstein.
Here he planned a miracle and saw it come to pass. Oh, come on now.
Yeah,
no.
It's a big achievement to plan a miracle.
He didn't plan a miracle, and he didn't see it come to pass here. He went out of his way to not have it come to pass here in this castle.
Oh, I see what you're saying. For some reason, I hear it as here he planned a miracle.
And he saw it
and then later on, the thing that he did.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that.
It's just the way he says it. It's all. It sounds like it's all one thought. There's not a long enough pause.
Right. Yeah.
To make it sound like, oh yeah, and he saw it come to pass at this other place.
Oh, and guess what? He saw it come to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not really talking to Benson. He's sort of
he's just talking to us.
Monologue. Kind of a monologue.
It's kind of a soliloquy
It's a soliloquy
to piss off us.
So, do you have anything on the very next thing he says? It's kind of crucial.
It is, but go ahead.
It's a miracle that the good people of Frankenstein called a monster. Yeah!
All right.
So
I've been waiting for this. This
is an important one.
11 weeks
It's going to be very difficult to get past, but I think I cracked it.
Okay.
It's a little meta, but I think it's clear he's referring to the good people of the 1931 film, Frankenstein.
Sure. I'll buy that. All right.
We got past another one.
Then I'm totally on board with your theory.
All right.
That's the case.
If you're not following along, the whole point I'm trying to make is that the town's not called Frankenstein. They haven't the good people have not renamed their town Frankenstein.
But the good people.
One more piece of evidence when Wolf refers to them as the good people of Frankenstein. He's referring to the good people
of the
film Frankenstein, which he's seen. It's 1939 at this point, so he would have seen it.
He would have seen it for sure. You call it a monster. They call it worse than that.
That is one of my favorite lines that we're going to talk about today. I love everything about it. I love the fact that Benson is nothing. He's not even a person until that point. And then he just pops out with that line. All of a sudden he's got a character and he's great.
And I wish they would develop it further than they do. He doesn't get very many moments like that.
True.
And Edgar Norton is certainly capable of great moments like that. He has one of the more famous lines in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that Dr. Jekyll is not himself today.
That's a pretty good line.
It's a great line.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I just watched it a couple years ago. a couple years ago. I should watch it every week.
Yes, you should.
I do want to say, Wolf finally puts the boxes down. If you've been following along since minute whatever, 6 or whatever, he finally puts the boxes down. Yeah, they call it a lot worse than that, sir. Is a great line, but also what's worse than that? Let's go word by word. What's worse than monster? Fucking asshole, child molester, Tyrolean,
murderer, Tyrolean,
I don't know.
Republican.
Yep. Such stories as I never heard is another great line, and it's really evocative.
Yeah.
It really gets your mind going because it's actually a hard cut at that point. He says, I believe that he says more than that.
Yeah, I think so. I think something was there's
something cut out.
It looks as though there's something.
Yeah, but it's not distractingly so. It's well done.
No, it's not. It's not like the beginning. Well, I was gonna say the beginning of Bride, where stuff was obviously cut from Mary Shelley and Lord Byron.
Yeah,
but that doesn't show it either, unless you know.
Well, the one I'm thinking of is the laughter in this film. No, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's cuts. There's lots of cuts like that. As long as this film may appear to some people, it certainly could have been longer.
It could have been longer.
And what I think is great about it is it's intriguing, of course, to know what he would have said. Such stories as I never heard. It seems like he's clearly going to tell one of them. Oh, one guy said this and one guy said that. And I'm sorry, I lost my track on my notes. But because what I had two things about it, and so I'm trying to say them both at the same time. I should just say one and then say the other. Okay, so because
it almost, your words.
It almost seems like it could have acted as a sort of prologue for the film. Like you've seen films like this where they show the scenes from the other film, like we just did one like that.
Frankenstein,
and that was a fun, cool way that they did that. They do it in every Mummy movie. It's not always so fun.
No,
it's not always so clever.
Yeah, I know.
But you could see him going through it like, oh, and I heard that he did this. And then they show the actual scene.
Flashbacks.
So maybe that's what they were going to do. I don't know.
It's possible. And I would prefer that to have been left in versus a lot of the dreck that was left in.
Okay. There's a lot of dreck.
There's a minute or two later from now, there's whole sequence that could go.
Okay.
Whole scene that could just go.
It's coming up soon?
Coming up soon.
All right. I'll wait with bated breath.
Go ahead.
No, I'll just also note that Wolf's not even listening. He doesn't care at all.
He's focused on that box.
He's focused on that box. The only thing that's going to get his attention is if Benson were to say, offer him a brandy. Then maybe he might wake up for a second to say, why, of course.
They call it worse than monster.
Now I think about it, I'm sorry. They did have one other thing.
Okay.
Just the notion of how this hiring process went. Because he's talking about, he's already mentioned that he couldn't pay people enough. But he apparently also sat through interviews. Because my impression is that Benson isn't from here.
No,
he came several weeks or days earlier to set all this up.
America.
Is he American? I don't know.
No, he's. I think he came via London to America.
They know him, so he must be American.
Family retainer.
From America. And he came there, and there was apparently an interview process where everybody sat down and had a new story for him.
He went there early. He and Amelia went early to set up the household.
Yeah,
is what I gather.
And then he'd tell them what the job was. I mean, they said, "What, Frankenstein Castle? Are you serious? Did you hear what happened up there?"
Yeah.
And then everybody had a
different story. Yeah.
That would have been a kind of a cool pearl. Actually, that's how this movie should have started.
That's right. We could have
just have Benson. Just none of this.
Yeah.
Just Benson sitting down to do
the first 12 minutes
in a big room just like this.
Yeah.
But like I'm picturing it like that scene in Citizen Kane. We had nothing for this. We're already at 15 minutes. That scene in Citizen Kane where he goes to read the book.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever, and the people are coming in one by one, and you see him kind of a montage.
Big dusty echoey room.
And then the shepherd. I don't know. Scared shitless.
So Minnie Mouse was one of the interviewees.
That's my Tyrolean. I guess she wouldn't be Tyrolean. She's whatever this is.
Frankensteinian.
Let's just keep calm about that. We got a process. Let's follow it.
All right.
But yeah, coming in and telling each individual story. John Carradine goes, and then John Carradine went in. It's always got to be that voice. It's not Minnie Mouse now.
This sounds like John Carradine. I have to say, in that script reading of Bride, the thing that threw me the most
was John Carradine.
That character was played by a woman in the reading.
Oh my goodness!
So you're trying
to see it?
Can you see it? The fiend that's been terrorizing half the countryside. That's and she was fine. She was good, but it's just like you're expecting it to be
that would throw me as well.
Voice.
That would throw me as as well.
Did I ever see what?
Oh, it's the Mystery Science Theater episode Red Zone Cuba.
Oh,
it was
yeah, of
based on the
course.
film, or it was originally named Night Train.
Yeah,
Mundo
Night Train to
Fine.
Mundo Fine, yeah.
And John Carradine's in it for a minute.
Well, he does the narration too, doesn't he?
Oh, does he do the narration?
I
don't
so.
think so. No, I'm
Or no,
positive he doesn't. I think
he does the.
I think you'll find Coleman Francis
That's
does
right.
the narration.
That's right.
But he does sing the theme song.
That's right. That's
so
what
when I was doing John Carradine, can't you see? I'm tempted to go Night Train to Mundo Fine. He's a great singer.
He's a good singer, yeah, I guess. He maybe should have sang in House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula. You give Baron
Interesting to see.
Baron Latos a number to do.
It's interesting when you said House of Frankenstein. My honest to God first thought was, is he in that? Because I don't picture that guy being
Is the
that
same
way.
guy, yeah.
He doesn't really strike me as that deep voice because he's really bad. It's really a bad role for him in House of Frankenstein.
See,
Like,
I
the first thing
disagree.
that happens,
I think he's not bad.
he's
I think
okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm actually forgetting most of his part.
I think
of
he's
House
actually
of
fairly
Frankenstein, where
good.
He's with that. Actually, that's true. There's the scene where he's with that group of people that appear and then disappear.
They're there for like 20 minutes and then you never see him.
For some
again.
reason, my first thought was him when he's born or whatever, where he comes to life and the guy's already threatening his life and he's sort of just passive. Oh, if you don't kill me, I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah.
And then he does kill him. Well,
Yeah.
kind of, basically.
Sort of. Yeah, Wolf finally opens up the small package and
And what's in the small package?
a key to open the bigger box.
And what's in the big package? Certain
Certain
papers
papers
pertaining to the estate.
Yep.
So exciting.
They set up the gag in minute 3, and the payoff is in minute 13.
As Tolstoy
12.
said,
Yep.
if you, I don't know.
I think you're thinking of
The
Chekhov.
papers, or just Chekhov. I'm sorry, Tolstoy. Close enough.
Yeah, you know, one of those Russian guys.
You know, I knew it was one of those Enterprise characters.
Yeah.
Star Trek characters.
Yeah, Ensign Tolstoy.
Ensign Tolstoy. With one of those red shirts.
Yeah.
Certain papers pertaining to the estate. We've been waiting all this time for it. Clearly,
Yep.
Benson's been waiting.
Oh, he's
noticed.
he's
Well,
like,
can I
oh.
take that from you, sir? Fuck
you.
So Benson pauses from the most important task we're going to see him perform in this film,
pouring brandy.
pouring brandy for Wolf.
Yeah,
And,
he is fascinated, as Wolf is, to see
Yeah,
what's in
this
that box. And
box?
Lawrence Grant did not disappoint. He nailed it.
He nailed it. It is indeed certain papers pertaining to the estate.
Hey,
Fuck
you know,
yes.
yep.
This is, it's all downhill from here.
yeah. You know, we might as well pull the plug right now because it doesn't get any better than that.
Oh my God. All right. So what is it?
It's a letter from Henry to his son.
Yep. I put some of it in our intro.
Yeah.
My son.
My son.
All right, and so we don't get a lot of it here. So
No,
that's actually
you'll
good
find-
for the podcast.
yeah.
We can talk more about it next week.
Yeah, you find my
But it's a
faiths,
letter.
my beliefs, and my unfoldments.
Yep. I mean, what do you got?
And
for
I thought
unfoldments?
forever that he was saying enfoldments until we were doing the minutes with the subtitles. Because
Well, that's interesting.
enfoldment and unfoldment are two very different things.
That is very interesting.
You're
Yeah.
Like, what is he talking about? And I looked it up, and enfoldment is, you're folding something. Like when you
I would guess so.
add an ingredient to cake batter, you fold it into the batter. Like, what the fuck does that... Unfoldment is his...
Here you will find my faiths, my beliefs, and my cake recipe.
It makes about as much sense as anything else in this fucking movie, so...
So that's interesting because I've always heard unfoldment.
Okay.
And that's good because
that's what he says.
Because that is what he says, but also because the subtitles in this movie are fairly bad.
They are several instances
A few
coming
weeks
up.
from now, it's just like, what?
There's a few that are...
Who did they hire to do this? The guy who did the, remember the guy who did the transcripts of the Nixon tapes?
that guy to do the subtitles.
I mean, anyway, if I had come up with his name, that would
That would have been
good.
impressive. That'll be the name of the episode. I'll find his name. And
So yeah, unfoldments. I like the word unfoldments.
so it basically means his...
I'm going to tell you how it went,
how
it all
how this-
went,
yeah.
how it...
how I conceived of it. And
honestly, it's kind of like a recipe. Like,
see? So I
this
guess
is
I wasn't
exactly
so
how-
far off
Yeah.
after all.
There you go. All right.
And that's what I got.
That's what I got as well. Please don't follow us on Facebook anymore. We got too many people already.
Yeah, what, 8?
Yeah, that's true. It's getting complicated. No, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Those are owned by the same guys now.
Same guys own that.
But it's really weird because so I don't know if we've really talked about this much, but Thom creates the graphics for the show. And it's probably the whole reason we do this is because of those, they're great. The graphics are great. And they're in widescreen. In fact, at one point I asked you to make some slight adjustment because it fits a little bit better on some format.
It wasn't wide enough, so I just had to add some black on either side.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever it is you're doing, it's perfect. The thing is, that doesn't work on Instagram. I don't know if I've ever told you this. Every week, I take that graphic and I create a new graphic that's a black square. So it's actually 2843 by 2843, and I paste yours on top of that. I export it to a PNG, and that goes on Instagram.
That's how often I go to Instagram.
Because if you don't do that, Instagram will cut the sides off.
Okay.
But Facebook bought Instagram. So when I go to put it on Facebook, Facebook has a really nice interface when you're creating that post I post on Facebook. It actually works really well, but it always says, do you want to also post it to Instagram? I'm like, I'd fucking love to, but yeah, there you go. So just don't follow us anymore. I give up.
Stop following us or I'll
Stop
have you
following
arrested.
me.
Have you arrested.
But the music is like over.
It's all, it's long gone.
Are we done?
Yeah, I hope so.
God. I'm sorry. Again.
I just want to say congratulations, Thom and Bill, for 3 amazing years dissecting Doctor Who or whatever the fuck it is you're doing.